Well, welcome to the Canes Corner podcast. I'm going to reset. Welcome to the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold. Appreciate you hanging out with us wherever you are, whatever hemisphere you are in, whatever time zone you are in. So, shouts to all of our friends down under. Trip Tracy, who is apparently a frequent listener to the Canes Corner podcast here on YouTube, is blown away by the breadth, the global reach of Carolina Hurricanes hockey and my incessant babbling about it. Hurricanes lose to the Rangers 2-1 in New York. Long and short of it, I think, albeit a small margin, I thought the better team tonight won the hockey game 2-1, but it was obviously a winnable game for Carolina because the margins were so small. Rangers get the second goal. Carolina made the worst mistake of the night, right? And that's what ultimately cost them the goal. Sometimes games are about the mistakes you make, and the Hurricanes made the worst one this evening. We are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. There's no place like it. Sammy Hanna's crew do a great job. You should check them out at aluminumcompany.com. Before we get into all of this, I think it's probably a good time or a good thing to let the head coach have his say, and then we'll kind of play off that a little bit and go through a bunch of the things that happened on the evening. Here's Rod Brindamore.
Rod, I know this isn't the end result that you would have liked to see from this game, but what were your biggest takeaways?
Well, it's frustrating right now. I think first period was no good because we're in the box. So, we didn't know. Well, we were lucky to come out of that 1-1. We had a great our power play made a nice play to tie the game. That's all we had that period because we're in the box. And then we slowly kind of got going a little bit. Actually had a pretty good third period, but we gave up and we took a one breather, just come off our guy in the corner and, he made a nice play, but that's not how we do it. So that was frustrating, but I don't like, I don't know, a game. That was a pretty even game. I thought both teams were playing hard. We're in the box 5 times in 10 minutes of that power play. They got one. We got lucky that they only got the one, and we get 2 power plays. The other night we had to kill 5 and get one. Like even games, that's not how it should be, and that's what I'm feeling right now. So I'm frustrated because that's not how that should have went, in my opinion. And there was an icing at the end. I don't know why they just waved them off. The game's on the line. That's too easy a call to make. So that's my frustration at the moment.
All right, let's just stop it right there. Rod Brindamore talking about the penalties, the disparity. 5-1 on Monday night in Philadelphia, 5-2 tonight against the Rangers. So let's just handle, and then he talks about the icing. So let's handle the icing first, because no idea, unless a directive came down from the National Hockey League, which said that icing the puck inside of 10 seconds in a 1-goal game is okay. It's now allowed. There's no planet on which that is not icing. And you don't have a great chance to score, but you have a chance with an offensive zone faceoff and 5 seconds to go. Extra attacker, win a draw, throw it to the net, maybe you force one in. Anyway, Carolina didn't get that opportunity because they decided that icing the puck was okay. To the penalty situation, I only had a real problem with one of them. The only penalty I had a real problem with was the last one, the one called on Jesper Fast, because does he have his stick in the midsection of, I forget even who, I think it might have been Cooley. Sure, but he's not applying any pressure. And in a 1-1 hockey game, I've got to see something. I've got to see an advantage or a disadvantage before I'm blowing my whistle. Especially, and I don't play these games anyway, but especially when in a 1-1 game, it's been a 4-2 edge in power plays to the other team. Now, I don't particularly care for playing the disparity in numbers game. I don't like it in basketball when we talk about fouls. I don't like it in penalties in football. Well, we've been whistled for 11, they've been whistled for 1. I don't buy that. And here's my my point of view on this. In the first period, Carolina got too many men on the ice. By the way, so did the Rangers. And by the way, both teams were punished for that. The Rangers scored on the Carolina too many men on the ice, and the Hurricanes scored on the Rangers too many men on the ice. But then Carolina committed 2 offensive zone penalties. Natchez with a high stick. I know Brindamore didn't like the high stick. I think in the first period, although that might have been a Brady Shea high stick. I'm not really sure. Actually, I do. Doesn't matter. But yeah, no, the Natchez high stick was an offensive zone penalty. And the Michael Bunting right after the 1-0 goal by Chris Kreider. Bunting, I mean, there's not a lot in it, but it's an offensive zone hook. So if you're going to commit offensive zone penalties, I am less likely to be sympathetic. And those are the things that Carolina can't do. So in many ways, the first period disjointed nature is Carolina's own fault. After that, Carolina was whistled twice. The Rangers were whistled once. I thought Carolina's penalty kill was excellent tonight. After the first one was good, and the first half of the second one by the Rangers was also good. But after that, Carolina's penalty kill was awesome. I want to go through the first power play goal and then the next half minute of the second power play to show you like why you can't get into the box against the Rangers, and the Rangers penalty power play has just been lethal against Carolina. We all remember what happened. I think they outscored Carolina 7-1 or 7-0 in the playoff series win. And by the way, first chance that the Rangers had, Brent Burns breaks up with a great play on Adam Fox, and who by the way, did not play the last 2 periods plus after colliding with Sebastian Aho. That just looked like an innocent collision to me. On the goal, Carolina gets a little unlucky. Sebastian makes a pretty good play, swipes the puck off the stick. I forget who he took the puck away from. Might have been Adam Fox, to be perfectly honest, or maybe it was it wasn't Panarin. But he swipes the puck away and then tries to hit it into the corner or knock it out of the kind of the middle of the ice. But he knocks it right to Panarin, who backhand quick pass to Chris Kreider across. The only thing Carolina could have done better, because Brady Shea falls down on that same play. And maybe Jalen Chatfield needs to do better to deny the pass. We've seen this before, right? You have to do better when you're trying to block a pass, but it all happens so quickly. I get it. So the pass goes across to Chris Kreider, and there's nothing you can do about it. 1-0 Rangers. Carolina got it back. Real quick, second power play. I thought Freddie made a couple of really good saves. Then they got lucky. Panarin from the right faceoff circle beats Freddie, but didn't beat the bottom of the left post. Clangs right off the iron. The Rangers keep the puck. Adam Fox from really just the top of the circles, right in the middle of the ice, and Freddie froze it for a faceoff. And from that point on, the 3 power plays that happened after and the last 45 seconds of that power play, I thought Carolina's penalty kill was awesome. Really, really good. So a good sign. It does look like Carolina's penalty kill is coming around. But 5 times you don't want to keep trying your luck. Not with the Rangers power play. Then Carolina got one of their own. And just a brilliant pass, kind of a no look, and we're seeing this a lot from Sebastian. No look pass to Seth Jarvis, who split the defense and goes in. And go look at this goal again, because Jarvis gets it from backhand to forehand and has to release the shot so quickly but he gets it up and over Shesterkin for 1-1. A beautiful, beautiful goal. And from that point on, it was a pretty even game. I kind of liked Carolina's second period. I thought that was their best period, even though neither team was super threatening after the first period. This is, I guess, the disconnect I've got with the post game is that I didn't think Carolina was threatening at all until it was 2-1 Rangers in the third. I thought the second period was a little bit on the sleepy side. I thought the first period had the most action in terms of goal scoring opportunities. But in the third period, I don't think the Hurricanes were really dangerous until after the Rangers had taken the lead. And let's talk about the goal that gave the Rangers the lead. A little bit unlucky. I thought Jarvis, uh, I think, deflected the puck that was supposed to be dumped down in by Truba. And by deflecting it, Truba could see where it was. Truba went and got it, went around Jarvis, and then beat D'Angelo to the puck in the corner and then held the puck. And I'm not really sure what Tony was doing. Tony just drifted behind the net. Brady Shea and Blake Wheeler were on the wall together. So Tony's not really covering anybody. And he's probably supposed to be in front of the net with Will Cooley. I thought maybe Aho should be there, but not really. Jarvis, not really. I mean, to me, D'Angelo's either got to be in the corner with Jacob Trouba or he's got to be in front of the net with Will Cooley, and he was in neither place. He was just drifting alone behind the net, behind the red line. And to me, that's the goal. That's the breath that Rod Brindamore was talking about. We didn't play the entire post game, but that's the breath that Rod Brindamore, I think, was talking about in the post game show. So that to me is the game in a nutshell. It's really just one, mistake, but Carolina makes the biggest mistake, and that's what cost them. The biggest mistake made by Carolina is ultimately what cost. Anyway, um, I think Rod is right. I think it was a relatively even game. I don't like to play the power play totals. We had 2, they had 5, we had 1, they had 5 in Philadelphia. Because I didn't really see anything that the Rangers did that should have been called. Of course, I didn't think the Jesper Foss penalty should have been called either, but it was. But it also didn't lead to a goal. Yes, it's a penalty you've got to kill off, so it takes some momentum away from you, and it makes it more unlikely for you to create offense. But Carolina was very good at on the penalty kill tonight. Again, I still don't understand what the icing, why it wasn't icing. All right, couple of things that I want to bring up, and then we'll take a couple of your comments here in the chat session. I thought, again, Carolina didn't get burned by this, but I thought Carolina had uh, a few puck management issues in the second period. I thought Marty Natchez, for the most part, played a really good game, and I think Rod Brindamore agreed, judging by the fact that he put Natchez up with Aho and Svechnikov for the last 10 minutes of the game, or after, maybe it was after the goal that he put Natchez up there. Natchez started on the line with Jack Drury and Steph Nason. But Natchez makes a pass, forces a pass to the middle of the ice in the offensive zone. And what that did when the pass had no chance of getting through, you have all 3 forwards low, and the Rangers are all of a sudden off on a 3-on-2. Now, on the 3-on-2 chance, that was Alexis Lafreniere, who had a great opportunity to score to make it 2-1. Freddie makes a great save with the left shoulder. But Philip Hedl, Carolina's lucky there because the puck bounced over Philip Hedl's stick. Hedl had the great opportunity to bang it home, so they got a little lucky. Freddie has to make a great save, then Carolina gets a fortunate bounce, or the Rangers don't get a fortunate bounce, and it really bails Natchez's poor decision out. And then on the power play, Andrei Svechnikov makes a poor pass to the middle of the ice, and it leads to a Mika Zibanejad. I mean, great shorthanded scoring chance. Mika probably made it less great by willing to take the shot from further out, and he just, I mean, reared back and ripped one over the top of the bar. So they don't get a goal, right? But it was a poor decision, I thought, from Svechnikov to try to force a pass into the middle of the ice. And then the last thing I really wanted to mention, and then we'll look at a couple of the comments here in the chat, and that was Nature's chance late because Carolina's down 2-1, and this is really the difference in the game. Is that their goaltender Igor Shesterkin, and by the way, Freddie, no chance really on any of the goals. I mean, if he makes either save, he had never had a chance to make the first save, but he makes the second save. You go, wow, what an unbelievable save! I mean, theoretically, he could have gotten it because it went through the pads, but it was a quick pass from the corner right out in front. And to me, I mean, that's just a mistake really on the part of D'Angelo more than anything else. But Shesterkin makes the save on Natchez on the rebound. Carolina's flurry at the end with Natchez being denied. You know, Mike said off the side of the net. It did hit the side of the net, but I believe it got the glove of Shesterkin first. I mean, Carolina could have easily tied the game 2-2 right there. And then Carolina really wasn't very threatening once they were able to pull the goaltender, something we kind of saw with the Hurricanes in Philadelphia. The difference is Carolina was able to pull Anderson with a little bit more than a minute left, whereas Philadelphia was not able to get Carter Hart out of the net until there was like 12 seconds to play. So all in all, I thought Carolina played well. I don't think they were the better team. So to me, kind of a just result. I think it would have been maybe if we were really thinking about it, it could have been more fair had Carolina kind of dragged this game into overtime and at least clawed a point out of it. But that isn't what happened. All right, let's get to a couple of comments here on the aftermath brought to us by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. And we are live on YouTube after every Hurricanes game. I will give you a programming note coming up in a few minutes. And we're here. And it's also available also wherever you get your podcast normally. From Doug, Drury is a problem. Orlov's still not where you'd want a $7.5 million player to be. Tony always going to be loose. May not be the best formula to get a cup. Well, I wouldn't big picture anything here. I actually think Jack Drury has been good the last two games, but he was good again tonight. Rod shortened his bench, and when he shortens his bench, he's going to go to 9 forwards. He went with his 9 best, and I do not disagree with the 9 he chose. I thought Jack Drury was pretty good, so I'll disagree there, and I thought he was very good in the game in Philadelphia. I agree. Dmitry Orlov is not where you would want a $7.5 million player to be. Carolina has played 11 games. Orlov will continue to get better. I think ultimately when Carolina is healthy, I've said this before, as much as I love Tony DeAngelo, and I think Tony helped the power play get better. I think Carolina's bigger problem on the power play has been forwards, not the point man. I believe that their best 6 defensemen does not include Tony DeAngelo. But right now, Brett Pesci's not in the lineup. So Rod started the game with Jalen Chatfield playing with Brady Shea because he was looking for a shutdown pair. But then he realized that DeAngelo and Orlov together is not a good pairing, and it isn't, in my opinion. So he went back to Chatfield and Orlov and allowed DeAngelo and Shea to play together. And that theoretically is a better pair because Shea can cover for Tony, like Chatfield can cover for Orlov. The problem is DeAngelo's mistake on the goal that made it 2-1 was the difference in the game. Matt wants to know what happened on the icing call. What icing call? Apparently, icing is allowed with under 10 seconds to go. Jarvie needs to Samuel. Jarvie needs to stay above the puck so Trouba doesn't get it by him. I think that was more unlucky than anything else. Having watched the play enough, the Trouba doesn't pass the puck around him. It's sort of deflected, and Trouba ends up noticing where it's going before Jarvis does, so he's able to beat him to it. I don't really have a problem with Jarvis on the play. Um, anyway, um, can you touch on the? I've already touched on the icing not called. I know. Look, folks, I am a Bally's guy too. That's how I watch. I use the Bally's app because I'm a YouTube TV guy. Love YouTube TV. Recommend it highly to all of you. So I use the Bally's app as well. And the Bally's app is and has been from Jump Street trash. I can't explain. I can't apologize. Um, we're trying to figure out what the heck's going on, but the Bally's app is terrible. And it's not a Hurricanes issue, as far as I know. It's a Bally's app issue. And on my phone, I try to pull up the Bally's app, and just because, hey, it's live on YouTube, I can show you this. That's the Bally's app, right? So all the Bally's app does is that. I have the Bally's app. I occasionally will watch part of the game on my phone if I have to be called away to do something else. I'll pull the game up. See what that's doing? Spinning. So the Bally's app is awful. And right now, for some reason, it's broken and Hurricanes fans are hosed. If you try to watch the game on ESPN Plus and you wonder why is the game blacked out, if you have a VPN. I used that for a chunk of last year and the year before. It should work. I don't know why it wasn't working tonight. But the game apparently was blacked out, so you couldn't even get it that way. On top of that, when games are on NHL Network, you will not get it on ESPN Plus because ESPN Plus does not have the right to show a game that is exclusively uh, set aside for NHL Network. That Bally's cast would go right there, and the NHL, whatever it's called, Power Play on ESPN Plus doesn't work. So with all that said, if you use a VPN as I used to, there are holes in that matrix too. Ultimately, it comes down to this: people who run valleys either don't care or they really can't figure out what the problem is. And I kind of lean to the latter more than the former, but I know how people process all of these things. Um, Anderson was very good tonight, and I think Matthew does point out um, we gave the puck away a couple of times, but again, I really think the Rangers were the better team. I really do. I don't think the game was as controversial as maybe some people do. They did call a penalty on Raleigh and not the Hurricanes, but it is what it is. And there you go. So Hurricanes unfortunately fall to the Rangers in New York. Great goal by Jarvis, great pass by Aho, but not a ton else, especially not at 5-on-5 until it was desperation time late. Also, I felt like Carolina had some trouble stringing together passes tonight. It was not their cleanest offensive game, and I actually believe that after the first few games where Carolina was scoring a zillion goals, Carolina's offense has been untidy. They certainly have scored enough, and they won 3 in a row. I think their offense has just been, meh, and maybe that'll change when Svechnikov gets a little bit more, comfortable. I haven't seen too much. I thought Andre was the most offensively dangerous the first game played. and he was not great. I didn't think he was dangerous tonight. Don't think Andre was super, super. He wasn't a problem tonight necessarily for the Rangers. I do think, and I spoke about this with Walt Ruff in the first intermission. I think we're starting to see Sebastian Aho get to his game. I thought Seabass was pretty good tonight. With all of that said, I mean, you play a game, a one-goal game in New York against a goaltender like Igor Shesterkin. You had some chances. He made some good saves. I did think he was there to be he had, especially early in the game, but I thought his best play was in the third period. Thought Freddie played well again, and now Carolina's gonna have to go take a swing at the rather at the Islanders, on Long Island coming up on Saturday night. And if you look at the standings in the, Metropolitan Division, here's what kinda makes tonight such a bummer, is that the Hurricanes it's one of those 4-point games. If you win the game in regulation, you go to 14 points, and that's where the Rangers are. And now you are 4 points off the Rangers, and the Rangers have a game in hand. You're even with the Islanders, tied for third, but the Islanders have 2 games in hand. That game on Saturday night against who I believe is a better goalie than Shesterkin and Ilya Sorokin becomes a hugely important 4-point game and I realize we're early, but the Metropolitan Division is a problem. The Devils are good. The Devils with 13 points in 9 games, and they won tonight. So, the Rangers have 16, the Devils have 13, the Islanders have 12, Carolina's got 12. I think the bottom of the division might not be so good. You might be able to get well on Washington, Philadelphia, and believe it or not, Pittsburgh, who is 3 and 6. I didn't think Pittsburgh was good going in. I know they added Eric Carlson, but holy cow, I think A. Carlson's super overrated in my opinion. And because if you have 100 points as a defenseman, and I know a lot came on the power play, you can't be a minus, I don't know, 20 something. You can't have 100 points and be a minus 20. Just can't. I just don't even. I can't fathom that. But I think you might be able to get well against the bottom of the division, but it's still going to be hard. I mean, I think Carolina is going to be a playoff team because they're going to go on a long sustained run where they don't allow a lot. Like I think we're in that. They just have to be able to figure out how to score some more goals. Defensively, Carolina has been very good since the Tampa game. Tampa, Seattle, San Jose, Philly, and tonight Carolina's been good defensively. So as long as they keep doing that, they're going to compile a lot of points. But you might not like where you finish in the standings if you can't rise to the occasion and just scratch out wins in games like this. But again, I think the result was kind of just. And with that said, we'll get out of here. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. You should check them out online for all of your home improvement needs, especially for the exterior of your home. Check them out, aluminumcompany.com. We'll do this again. Oh, I mentioned housekeeping. This is just so you can advance plan. Saturday night, we're here after the Hurricanes and the Islanders. Tuesday, Hurricanes are at home, and again, we will be here. We'll be at the NC Arena, and we'll be there for that one. Let me just tell you who they're. I don't know why I can't pull up who they're playing on Tuesday, but I'll bring this up in just a second. Tuesday, right? It's a Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. Hurricanes host the Buffalo Sabres on Tuesday, so we'll be doing a live Canes Corner podcast after that. And then the Hurricanes go back on the road for 2 more games in Florida and in Tampa. And as of right now, I would say I will not be doing those games on the radio for pregame and postgame and intermission. There's a youth soccer event that I'm eagerly anticipating, and I don't believe I'll be able to catch the games either of those nights. So I'm going to have to play catch up. It won't be podcast probably 90% chance there won't be a podcast. If there will be, I'll certainly let you know. But next Friday, next Saturday night, and then we're back. Although there's a couple of games where I think the 18th also there won't be. But anyway, we don't need to look that far ahead. Hurricanes lose to the Rangers 2-1 tonight. I appreciate everybody's time, and we will talk to you Saturday after the Canes beat the New York Islanders.